welcome to my first screener review for 2021! How exciting! This is completely unexpected. I got an email, I don't know how many weeks ago now it was, 2, 3, not entirely sure. And it was saying that I've been offered the chance to screen a film. They sent me the trailer, and I'm thinking, who are these people and how did they get my email address? But I was, you say the word screener and immediately I'm intrigued. So I went and I looked at the trailer and I went, wow. So I reached out to the PR person, and then I recognized their name. They had actually sent me a screener for a film last year, which was Agatha Christie Next Door Spy. I recognized the name and I'm just like, oh, that's how I got my email. And I was actually kind of amazed that they'd held on to my email. I was like, this is kind of cool. This is the first time this kind of scenario is happening. And I reached out to her and I said, I saw the trailer. Yes, I would absolutely love to see this film. And I had to mentally psych myself into watching it because I knew it was going to be an intense drama, and I finally watched it and then I finally reviewed it, and here I am to share that review with you guys. So folks of the internet, here is my review for my first screener of the year for White Lie. White Lie is a 2019 Canadian drama film written and directed by Yona Lewis and Calvin Thomas. The film follows Katie Arneson, a university student who fakes a cancer diagnosis for the attention and financial gain, but gets caught up in having to maintain her lie. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive, is the quote that came to my mind while watching this film, and what an impeccable film this was. As I mentioned, the screener was offered to me. First I was sent the trailer, and while I usually avoid trailers, I decided to check this one out, and I was instantly unsettled to see it was a drama, and a very intense one at that. Now personally, I do my best to avoid dramas for my own mental well-being. I prefer to stay away from films too heavily based in reality, but just looking at the trailer, I felt I'd be an idiot to turn down this film because the trailer alone looked incredible. Turns out the film is 10 times better, and that's rare. This is an incredible performance-driven film that deserves so much more attention. I can't even begin to put it into words, but I'm gonna try. I can't fault a single aspect of this film. I can't find a single hole or thread out of place. It is perfect from start to finish, and the performances across the board are mind-blowing. With, of course, Casey Roll's performance of Katie Arneson blowing it out of not just the park, but out of the atmosphere. So many people around the world have faked things like cancer or more for various reasons, and more will. I myself have encountered many, and it's scary to witness the lengths they will go to preserve a lie and how much maintenance goes into it, and this film 100% nails all of that. Now, there are people in this world who can and do lie because they have no conscience, so if they get caught, they don't care. It means nothing to them because they feel nothing. But that kind of character would not have worked in this film. Katie, as much as what she's doing is wrong, she has a conscience. She's just ignoring it for whatever reason. She is constantly dealing with the anxiety that comes with trying to maintain her lie and keep it going and not get caught out. She keeps telling herself she's not doing anything wrong, but we see at several points in the film she's entirely aware. She just chooses to ignore that voice telling her to stop. Now, she doesn't know she's breaking the law, that's true, but she knows she's lying and deceiving people, and it doesn't appear as though she intends to end the lie. Now, if I had seen this girl, I would have been instantly suspicious of her. For the chemo once a week, which the doctor in the film points out would not happen, I was with him there. Chemo wrecks your body, and if you're having it once a week, she shouldn't even be able to walk, let alone attend dance recitals. But then it's the fact she had no other signs of treatment outside of shaving her head. If she's going into chemo once a week, then that would be administered intravenously, so either a vein in the arm or a port in the chest that stays open. She has no signs of either, so the fact she's getting dressed and undressed in front of all these girls and is having sex with her partner, and no one is noticing that there are no signs on her body that indicate she's having chemo, is interesting. I don't think it indicates people are ignorant. I think in this film it speaks to the fact that people see what they want to see. If someone tells you they have cancer, it is in the nature of most people to show compassion and sympathy and be there for that person. No one's instincts, unless you have trust issues like I do, are to assume someone would lie about something like that. It's not our instinct to look for signs of deceit. No one wants to be the person who points an accusatory finger at someone with cancer, because if you're wrong, you'll look like the world's biggest asshole. And I think in a way Katie plays that to her advantage, as do most people who do this, because at the end of the day, who is really going to question the validity of someone's cancer diagnosis? This film is so intense from beginning to end, and that intensity never lets up. It feels like you're being crushed by the stress and weight of the film's circumstances. You're being put into Katie's shoes. So often we're made to experience what a heroine or antagonist is going through and be put on their level. It's even more impressive to be able to allow the audience to experience the enormous emotional experience of an immoral character. I think Katie is the most accurate portrayal of anxiety I have ever seen. She's the living embodiment of it, which further speaks to the overwhelming impressive performance Casey gave. A lot of films depict people having an anxiety attack as very theatrical and dramatic, hyperventilating loudly, breathing into paper bags, having hysterical meltdowns, passing out and being rushed to hospital, throwing up, or in some cases all of those at the same time. Now, some of these things do happen to people, no doubt about it, but for a lot of people, anxiety is a silent storm brewing inside you. For me, it's like 100 hurricanes all at once going inside me. I feel angry, scared, overwhelmed, confused. It's like being frozen in an emotional tornado. You can't think or focus, you can't articulate how you're feeling because you don't know how you're feeling, because so much is going on at once. Your body is pumping with adrenaline because anxiety triggers the part of your brain responsible for fight or flight, and that adrenaline is trying to get you ready to do one or the other. But the problem is anxiety is about perceiving a dangerous threat that isn't there, so you can't respond with fight or flight and work out that adrenaline, so it keeps pumping through you. Now you know you're going through this, you're very aware of it, but to the outside world you probably look fine. Maybe you're a little shaky, maybe your breathing picked up, maybe you're red in the face, maybe you're crying a little, which for me only happens during an extreme attack, long story. Point is, most people would look at you and assume you're fine, and truth is you are far from fine, and I got all of that from Casey's performances in this film. Every scene, even if she's not speaking, you see in her face, in her eyes, in her body language that there is this constant state of anxiety brewing inside her. That constant state of, will this person catch me out? Did I say the right thing? Do my lies connect correctly? Are people catching on? What do I need to do to keep this going? How do I keep it going? How do I prove I have cancer? Etc. And for the most part, she's holding it together exceptionally well. And then she gets outed. Her secret is out, and that scene where everything comes crashing down honestly knocked the wind out of me because of how amazingly performed it was. Katie is quiet. She says nothing. She's not having this giant meltdown, and someone inexperienced might look at her and go, well, she's handling this well, but she is not. You can see in her face, in her body, that she is losing her shit. This web of lies she's been weaving for years just got demolished in 0.5 seconds, and she's scrambling to figure out what to do. While I couldn't relate to her scenario, her reaction was so palpable and relatable it floored me. A while ago I watched acting coaches reacting to death scenes in movies, and one was talking about inner monologues and how important they are for an actor to establish this for their performance and how it elevates it. I understood what was being said, but even though I had seen these scenes in question, I didn't see what was being described in those scenes. But watching this film, I finally got it. It clicked. There are so many scenes in this film without dialogue, and they rely heavily on the performances to drive the story forward and tell the audience everything we need to know. And it was during this moment where the character has reality hit her hard, I could see that in a dialogue. I could see that she wasn't just acting, she was that character inside and out, and I could see inside her head as she weighed up her options, thought of her next move while trying to process what has happened, and all in a short time frame. So while I always knew about an inner monologue, I finally in this film understood its value and importance. I think simultaneously this film is educational. It teaches us just how serious cancer is and how much is involved in diagnosing and treating a patient, to the point it isn't something that can be easily faked. It's a very serious condition, and those going through it are not having a walk in the park. If you haven't experienced cancer for yourself or secondhand, you can't possibly know how involved it is. And I think this film gives us another perspective on that shows you how involved and in-depth treatment is, and it gives you newfound sympathy and compassion for real sufferers. Katie is a fascinating character. She's given multiple chances to do the right thing, to stop the lies and prevent from hurting other people, but she's so far in she can't see a way out and only proceeds to dig herself deeper into the lie to the point she's unable to maintain it anymore, and she lets it slip around people, including the person who matters most to her. She keeps saying to people's faces, "I'm not lying," and a second later manages to say one thing that proves she's lying. I think it's her own form of self-sabotage, but the sad part is she can't be helped. You can see by the end of the film she has gone too far, and she has destroyed the trust of the last person who had her back, and after this the only option is to let her pick up the pieces on her own. Like any addict, you have to let them hit rock bottom. The ending is so abrupt, and yet I think it's perfect. You're watching Katie's partner Jennifer, played by Amber Anderson, realize she was lied to, that she begged and pleaded for the truth, and all she got was another lie, and she chose to believe it only to have it thrown in her face, and she sits there weighing up her options. Does she stay? Does she try to help? Or does she leave and realize she can't help this person, and that maybe instead she has to help herself and put herself first? And she does, and by ending the film on Jennifer instead of Katie, it further tells you there's no coming back for Katie, that she has screwed herself over and now she has nothing, and she'll realize it soon enough. It's so silent and abrupt, but so thoughtful and deliberate, and honestly a perfect end for this film. This is without a doubt an extraordinary film that I highly recommend, so captivating, and the film's understated use of camera work and cinematography really allows the performances to shine. The film just gives itself over to these actors and trusts them to guide this story forward, and boy do they. I would nominate this for so many awards if I could. Just incredible. If you are interested in this film, it is either now available for digital streaming or will be. I was told 1st of the 5th, but I'm in Australia, so for me that's the 1st of May, and if you're in the US then that would mean the 5th of January, so I'm not sure which it is, but it's one of them, and so it is either now available or will be in May on DirecTV, Amazon In Demand, iTunes, FlixFling, AT&T, Vimeo On Demand, Vudu, Fandango, and Google Play, so be sure to check it out. I have no roundup to this review either. There really is nothing more I can say about how amazingly written, filmed, and performed it was, and how much more people need to watch it. There's something so rewarding about seeing complex characters being depicted in such well-made films that really nourish and showcase those complexities. So definitely give this a watch. But that is it for this video. Comment below if you have by chance seen this or want to give it a go, and maybe come back and give me your thoughts after you watch it. I'd love to know what you guys think. Thank you as always to my kick-ass patrons who rock big time. That is it for this video. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!